Don't. How did I get here? Stay. These are the 27 historical romance series that I am in the middle of. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is Books Forever After, where I sit on my floor and we talk about everything and all things books and nothing but the books. Alright, so as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to talk about all the historical romances that I am in the middle of. Now, typically historical romances, they're not really series, they're usually just standalone in a series, and as a general rule you can read them out of order. However, I have been burned in the past and I am, if anything, a completionist, and I just can't help myself by reading in order, or at least going back and making it right, going back to the first books in the series so I can complete some series. And in a couple of instances, it's been so long that I really want to reread those books because I really enjoyed them and I just want to have a fresher mind on that series in general. Now, this video is the first in a total of 3 episodes in this series that we'll be speaking of. So this first one will be covering historical romance, obviously, and then the next one will be fantasy romance, romantasy, or paranormal, and then the third and final will be romance and or, if possible, general fiction. But of course, majority of what I read is romance, so that is what those genres or subgenres will be covered. Now, the hope is that I will be able to use these episodes or updates of continuing series as a guide to help give a refresh for everyone and myself as well, as I plan to do some sort of TBR jar spin and or vlogs regarding these series, so that I, for the completionists in me, to feel some sort of accomplishment, and so I will bring you along for that ride. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more content from me. And with that all the way, let's just get started. All of the series are down on the bottom, as you may recall, or if you're new here, the books on the second shelf are my 25 and 2025 historical romances. So that means that these will eventually graduate down here as well. So for the most part, those have been accounted for in part of my continuing series. We'll just go from there. Essentially what I did was I went back all the way back to 2022 on my Goodreads and just went through by the read and just seen which historical romances were part of series that I haven't completed yet. And so I made a Google spreadsheet, all of those as a tracker. That is where those are at. Now, just today as I was preparing, I realized at first I thought I only had 25 historical romances, but it seems like I also have 2 more extra. And there are 2 that I do want to do as a reread to continue, essentially, meaning rereading the first book to continue on to the next one. Now, obviously this does mean, because I will be doing my 25 and 2025, that this list may fluctuate. That means that because I'm starting new series, that my continuing series may grow, and as well as I complete them, diminish or DNF, because that is the rule I will be allowing myself, is to DNF these series if I really don't want to continue on, or if the author or writing is just not for me. We will going into alphabetical order as much as possible because, again, I can't help myself. This first one is Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage by Jennifer Ashley. I had recently just started this. Book 1, The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie, is actually part of my 25 and 25. So this is the continuation of that. This is a new to me author and I've really enjoyed it so far. And I'm excited for this, as these characters in here were in the side characters in the first one, and it's a second chance where they are, I don't think they can divorce at that time, but they are legally separated in some sort of fashion. So they are separated. So second chance marriage in crisis. He's an artist. I am really looking forward to this one. The next one is I Dared the Duke by Edith Bennett. I read the first one. It was like a governess one. I'll put the post up here. I really didn't like that one per se. I think I rated it a 3-star, but I think that was a little generous to be honest. So this one I foresee as possibly being a DNF series. If this second one doesn't pan out, then I just don't think this author is for me. And I was seeing on Goodreads, and a lot of the ratings are like 3.69 and 3.77, like really low ratings. So that also just makes me a little bit more comfortable to DNF the book as well. I'll always DNF a book when I'm really not enjoying it, but that just makes even more, validated that I don't like it for sure. This one's called the Wayward Wallflowers series. The first one was a governess, and she was actually a lady, and so she decided, because she didn't want to get married, to be a governess. But the person that she is going to be a guard, he becomes a guardian of orphans, that he was actually one of them that had proposed to her in the past that she had turned down. So it's a little bit of a second chance and a governess, and I had read it during the Ever After-a-thon. I was hoping that it should just be an automatic win. It just wasn't. There's just something about the writing that I just didn't really enjoy, the way that the author wrote the characters, especially the hero character. Next one is Kerrigan Byrne, the Scott Betts' wife. Now this is the 5th in a 6th series of the Victorian Rebels. The Highwayman as the first one is my absolute favorite and 6-star read that has surpassed Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas for me, and that is just amazing to even say. It has reigned supreme for decades at this point. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I have one more after this one, which I think is like more of a pirate romance, possibly. So yeah, I don't even know which one this one is about. Oh, it's about Gavin St. James, Earl of Thorne. So he is a Highlander, so looks like we're going back into the Highland one, which was like the 3rd one, if I recall. So absolutely been loving the series. Nothing has really surpassed since the Highwayman. I think everything else has been a 4-star besides the Duke one. That was really good. I enjoyed that one. But yeah, so this is another one. And then I recently just started this series from the Ever After-a-thon, and this is The Price of Pleasure by Cressley Cole. Now this is only a 2-book series, so once I read this one, then I will complete that series. And I read, I can't remember what the one, The Captain of All Pleasures in the first one, so that was, they were both pirates and they're kind of like rivals to lovers there, and I really enjoyed it. They were on a race to this ship race down to, I think, South America or something like that, so they were kind of combating there and they just fall in love. So really enjoyed it. No idea about this one. I really enjoy pirate romances, and I really enjoyed this author's writing as well so far. Next, this one is the first reread to continue series. I first read this, I think, early in 2022, and this is Goddess of the Hunt by Tessa Dare. I believe this is her first official debut novel, and I think with Avon, or it may have been with a different company as well. But I hear this was actually like her debut novel. I really enjoyed this book. This was like a 5-star for me. This being her debut novel, there has been some mixed reviews from my friends here on BookTube that they didn't like the tonal shift in the midway of the book. For me, I loved it because it moved to a more gothic tonal shift, like a Bluebeard kind of feeling, Bluebeard's wife kind of feeling. So I really enjoyed that part. So definitely enjoyed this so much. He is her brother's best friend, and I believe she just goes to his room one night and asks for a kiss or whatnot. So it's really like a seduction lessons kind of tropes, which I really enjoyed that one as well. And the next one is The Wedding by Julie Garwood. I believe the first one was The Bride that I read. I read this as part of one of my historical romance reading vlogs that I did, I think, last year. And it was a 3-star for me. Julie Garwood has been one of my OG favorite authors, and I went a bit on a hiatus. And when I picked this book back up again for The Bride, I found I didn't really enjoy it as much. It's like a 3-star for me. I think it's just the way of the writing style back then, and maybe that was why. But I do remember, like, I've been trying on the search to find the Highlander romance that I remember really loving by Julie Garwood. Now she does quite a bit of them, so it's been a bit of a journey, recapture, kind of reread to find which ones was the one that I loved so much of hers, because she did write a few Highlander romances. So this one is The Wedding. I thought it was the friend from the first one, but I don't think it is. This one follows Lady Brenna and Connor McAllister, it looks like. Going into this one relatively blind, even though it is technically a reread, but it's been so long that it's like reading it for the first time again. And then next I have 2 series by the same author, and that is Lorraine Heath. I have The Earl Takes All. I can't remember what the name of this one is, and this one actually has our first step back as well. But this is generally this one's The Earl Takes All. This is generally called the Gorilla Book because it follows 2 twins, and one of the twins dies on like an African safari and dies by death by a gorilla. So that's why it's called the gorilla book. And so essentially what happens is he switched places with his brother, and he's always pined for his brother's wife as well. But she doesn't know that it's him. And the reason why that he does this is, as his brother was dying, he had asked his brother to take his place to play him, because his wife was pregnant and they have lost their child in the past, and he didn't want his death to upset her and her lose the baby. And I did briefly try to start this a while ago, but I just wasn't in the mood. Lorraine Heath can have a bit of a bonkers plot, I hear, but also a very emotional read at times too as well, that can take you by surprise, that I have found in the past reading her other books as well. The next one is part of the A Sense for All Seasons novel. This is The Duchess in His Bed. I believe, I believe 2 more after this one. So yes, this will be book 4 in the series, and I have 2 more left after that. So this follows a series of orphans that have been kind of taken in by this widow. Her job, and which is really interesting about this as well, is there was historically, it's following an historical fact that some of these orphans were just given to these widows or whatnot, and given some sort of money, but not enough to really cover. And at times it was found that they were, children were unalived because of that, of not being really tracked, or actually having put in like a system, sort of the way where they were actually children being better protected. Their mom actually changed her ways and opened up her house to children as well, to just ensure that they're taken care of. And him and there's 2 girls, I think, so all the boys, all the siblings are part of that, and so that's who the stories that you follow is the siblings. I think this one follows Aiden, so you get to follow his love story here. And then next is Lori Lee Gurk, or Gurky. I still cannot seem to find how to say that right. I still think I try to find it online. I just am trying to find an author interview to where they say their name. It's a lot easier to get that, confirmation there. But anyway, this one is The Trouble with Love. This is the 2nd book in the series. I started the first book as part, which was lucky because it was actually already part of my 25 and 2025. B and Tara had picked it as part of their B and Tara's Tea and Biscuits with Tara and B book club. It's like a mouthful. I always seem to the flubber with that. So I didn't really enjoy that one. To be honest, I DNF'd it because I just didn't like it. But at least I wasn't alone. It seems like a lot of people really didn't enjoy it. I didn't DNF that one. I did continue on. I just didn't like the ending for sure. So it was like a 2-star for me. But there was another one that I did DNF, so that I can remember now. To be honest, they're all running together. There's been so many. But anyway, so this one is a tentative one. The one I really am intrigued about is the Governess Gone Rogue one that I want to read in this series, but we'll see how this one goes. This one follows, this all surrounds like a Lady True Love, which is like this column, like think Penelope from the Bridgerton series, the Lady Whistledown. It kind of follows that, but I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out regarding this as well. But yeah, we'll see if I end up liking this one, because book 1 was real bummer. And next we have Destiny's Embrace by Beverly Jenkins. Now I made a mistake in the Ever After-a-thon in May. We read the 3rd one, Destiny's Captive. And that is the third book in the series. And with Beverly Jenkins, I'm finding you really need to read them in order because it's more of a historical fiction family saga, and the romance is supposed to kind of balance that. What I found with the third one was it really didn't turn out to be a pirate romance as much as it had proclaimed to be. Like maybe 20% was pirates. It was very, very quick, so I don't even want to say 20%, like 15% was like a piratey feeling. It was more like a traveling kind of thing. So yeah, that one I didn't like. That was a 2-star, unfortunately, and which was a mistake. I do have Indigo on my 25 and 25 as well. I wanted to start with book 1 in that series with Destiny's Embrace and see how it goes with that. And I do have a few other Beverly Jenkins to try out as well. I heard her writing style can be hit or miss for some because she does embrace infotainment. I think I was watching one of her interviews and she talks about infotainment where she used history and historical facts to take real live information and use that to entertain people with characters and things like that. So there sometimes might be a bit of a balance issue possibly with that where it can be a little slow and I don't want to say tedious, but it's just really slow and just a little bit boring of that part of it. Which can be a very unique thing to counteract. Because me personally, I want to learn about a historical fact or time and place, and through characters, through the people, through them interacting with that world, with those people, with the objects, with those society restraints and things like that. So we'll see how I enjoy with this one. And then I have the Elizabeth Hoyt. This is a Maiden Lane series. This is Notorious Pleasures. This is book 2. I read the first one again for a Mood Reader book club with April, I want to say a year or two ago, and we just really didn't like it. It was a very like dark Queen Duck into like April's term book. It was very Lucius Malfoy, but not really entertaining at all. Really, really dark, more of a mystery than a romance, and that to me just didn't make it enjoyable at all. So what really intrigued me about this series is I was looking for more dark historical romances, dark noir or gothic romances for historical romance, and because I wanted more like Harrigan Bird, and people were telling me about Elizabeth Hoyt. Now sadly I don't know how much if I really enjoy this, so I have all the Maiden Lane series. We'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping that I really like her, at least find another book. But this one I foresee sadly that I might not complete the series because if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to continue. So here is to hoping. I really do hope that the first one was just a dud, is not setting the tone for the rest of the series for me. Next is Wild and Love by Eloisa James. This is the Wilds of Lindo Castle. I had read Say Yes and Say No to the Duke, those 2 novels in this series, so I'm kind of going back to the first one because I found them through like library sales and such, but I recently acquired more of these from a library sale, and so this is like the perfect opportunity to do that. And of course, some of these, if I don't have a physical copy, I will also get them from the library as well. Oh, I just realized I'm doing my physical books first. I forgot to do this in actual order from my list on my tablet, which is right in front of me. So this is what you got. So that's a boo-boo, but you know, it is what it is. We're already this far now. Let's just keep it going. Next, I actually got as part of a Goodreads giveaway. This is In the Shelter of Hollythorn House by Sarah E. Ladd. This is more of a proper romance or Christian fiction. This is really geared more towards like the Pride and Prejudice feeling that you get, though there is no spice. There's just a yearning kind of feeling, and that is the feeling that I want to have when reading these types as well, is the yearning kind of part of it. And I read the first one because I realized when I wanted to read the first one because I thought, ooh, I probably have to read those in order. It did not turn out the way that I really wanted to. It was like a 3-star, so I really found it to drag a little bit really very boring, not really good like banter or communication, and that's really what works for me in those types of novels. So this one is a second chance. That's what drew me to this, and so we'll see if I end up liking this one. This one is inspired by the Persuasion by Jane Austen, so I think it's inspired more like that, so we'll see how this one goes. And then next we have the second reread to continue is Devil's Bride by Stephanie Lawrence. This is book 1 in the sister series, which is a very long series. I'm thinking it's like 20 at least, because there is like a second generation part to it as well. So this is going to be a very long journey with this series. However, I first read Devil's Bride, my first book introducing with this author, and I absolutely loved it. It was a 4-star for me because there was a little bit of some, like, I think pacing issues that wasn't really working for me, but I absolutely loved it. It was a very gothic, atmospheric book, and I really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to rereading this one so I continue on into this sinister journey. And then next is a Highland Guard novel. It's The Hawk by Monica McCarthy, and I think this one may possibly be one of those that I will foresee being a DNF. I read the first one, which I can't remember. I'll pop the picture up here, and that was like a 3-star. I enjoyed the historical accuracy, but it's really just in a time period back really early, and like William Wallace kind of era. In that history, and I'm just not really enjoying that part of it either, and mainly also because of the way that the characters are, and just the writing style for that. It's very similar to like Johanna Lindsey in that aspect, but I don't know, where the heroine is more infantilized a little bit, and that's exactly always a pleasurable thing to read, or an enjoyable experience to go through or read about. So yeah, we'll see how I like this one. These are kind of like a secret force to try to put more of a Scottish royal on the England throne again. So with Bruce, so what's his name, Sir Bruce or whatever his name. So yeah, so this is called the Highland Guard, and so it follows all the men and their love stories as well. Then we have 2 books by another author. This one is An Earl to Remember. I believe the first one was A Matter of Temptation, and yeah, the first one was a boss employee relationship, which I really enjoyed. She was like a secretary, so I really enjoyed it. Every experience with the Stacey read so far has been a 5-star. My Darling Duke is my only 6-star so far this year, so I really enjoyed that. So good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing on for this one. And then this one, Her Wicked Marquess, is following from the same series of My Darling Duke, so I'm excited to join this one as well. I think this follows her sister in this one. And this one's a little bit out of order, I think. This one's a little bit out of order, it fell out of their way, but we have another Lil Luisa James. This is the Once Upon a Fairy Tale one, I forget what it's called, but they're all fairy tale retellings. I had read the When Beauty Tames the Beast one, which is the Beauty and Beast one. I really enjoyed that one. That was a 4-star. Louisa James can be hit or miss. But this is book 1, and this is the Cinderella retelling. So looking forward to this one. Yeah, so we'll see how I enjoy it. I would like to finish that series, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. We have a Julia Quinn, Dancing at Midnight. I think the first one was Mix, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'll put it up right here. It was either, I think it was Splendid or Minx. I can't remember which one was the first one. But this one is Dancing at Midnight. She is a blue stocking, and he is a veteran, I believe, coming back from the war. So that is all I know for that one. Alright, so let me go back through the ones that I haven't talked about because I don't have a physical book, but I do have on my Libby app. As under a tag, and if I can I will share the screen there if possible, but I'm just going to use my Goodreads list to kind of go through these. The first one here that I see is Curled Up with an Earl by Amy Rose Bennett. This is book 2 in the Byronic book club. That we read book 1 as part of B and Tara's book club, or Tara and B's book club. I keep butchering that, so my apologies. I really enjoyed the first one. It was a very gothic feeling book. She was a gothic novelist, and which was so cool. It wasn't the greatest book that I read, but it was definitely good. I can't remember at the time, right now when I'm thinking of it, what wasn't working for me exactly, but it was really good time. 4 stars for me. So looking forward to continuing on with that one. I think this one follows her sister, maybe? No, or maybe one of the other, yeah, no, her friends group. She has the Byronic Book Club. She has 2 other friends, I believe, where they meet up in one of the girls' father's bookshop, and they discuss books and things like that. So yeah, it follows the friend group. Now it's coming back to me. Then next is To Covet a Countess by Sapna Bog. This is book 2 in Elusive Lords, and I read the first one with April, part of our book club, earlier this year, and really enjoyed it. It's not really talked about as much, and I'll post that first one there. But it was really good, and I think she writes more dark, like contemporary romance, and so this is like her first series with that. What was really cool is it has a heroine that has an Indian descent, and it kind of discusses the whole people of color and the English aristocracy, can't say the word, society, and how they were treated, and that kind of relation there. I really enjoyed the characters and the tension that she created in the romance. It was, in the yearning, it was really, really good. So looking forward to continuing on with that one. Not sure if there's a third one now, but for sure I'll just continue on with that series. And then next is The Truth About Cats and Dukes by Elisa Braden. It's part of the Rescued from Ruin, book 2. I read the first one as part of the free ebook, and I'll put that one there. I don't remember what either here or there. I can't remember the first one it's gonna be. Yeah, I read the first one as a free ebook, I believe, and it was a 5-star. So really, really enjoyed. No, I think I got it from the library. Yeah, but it was a 5-star. Really, really, really good. Very, very dark too. Just darker tone, like noir, which I really enjoyed. Next is the third in the Capturing the Carlyles by Anna Harrington. Anna Harrington as The Devil Dares. We read the first 2 as part of Tara and B's book club, which is really surprising that there are a lot on my list here. But yeah, they actually just started continuing book 2. We just got finished a month or so ago, and that one wasn't as enjoyable as the first one. I think it's ending at like a 3-star for me, I think, for that one. But it was still a good, solid read. Enjoyed it, and we'll see how I enjoy this next one. Then I have one from very long ago as well. Is basically I read like the second one, so I have to start with the first one again. I may reread this one, the second one again, we'll see. But this is The Princess Stakes by Amelie Howard. Yeah, so I don't have this first one. I have, like I said, I think the second and third one, maybe one of those, physically. So I have this one on my Libby as well, tagged. And then I have book 1 in Desperate Duchesses. First one is called Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James. I have read, I forget which one it is. I'll post it over here. I DNF'd that one. I really didn't like it. It's set in the 18th century, with all the wigs and things like that, and just the way that the writing style was, and the way it was very, like, make your eyes go cross-eyed. And it was one of them that it didn't have a great, like, setting or foundation to know what the heck the context that you're going into the story on. And just the way that the hero was talking about his wife. It was a marriage crisis. That's why I was really excited to read it. I think I've been since have unhauled it, but I do want to see if maybe if I start from the first one, I like it. There is another book in the series that I really, really enjoyed that has I read years ago that I'm going to reread. So that maybe that's the hope that I have, is to be able to get to that one again. But I really, really enjoyed that one. That one had a lot of very secretive twists in that one, which was really fun. Then we have, I think I did The Wild in Love. But yeah, alright, that's it. Awesome. That is, I think that's all of them. And she did in fact forget one. Oh, she tried so hard. Okay, so the first one that I left off was Lenora Bell, If I Only Had a Duke. That's the next one in the series, the second one. And the first one, this was the one that I had DNF'd from the B and Tara's book club. This was How the Duke Was Won. Really, really didn't like it. The hero was insufferable. So insufferable. And then the second one is The Heiress by Lindsay Sands. I read the first one. That's the second one in the series. The first one I read was The Countess, which is basically a Earl Had to Die replay. It's very, very hilarious. So enjoyed it. 5 stars. So looking forward to the next one. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. So I'm going to count, see if I did 27 there. But yeah, that's all of the current historical romances that are being tracked, and see that. So that list, as I said, will ebb and flow a lot with how my reading journey, and we'll be continuing on for next year as well as that ebb and flows. Is that something I want to keep track of, is so I don't go almost 2 decades and not finish the series, because now with the age of the internet, I can actually continue series now. Because in the past you just had the little, oh gosh, the stuff in front of the book to tell you what the next book was, or the little physical library file thingies. I forget what they're called now. Calendar? No. Whatever those were. So in the grand internet age, I'm looking forward to continuing on with this whole historical romance journey, and I hope you will come along and join me with that. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video, if there's any of them that really stand out for you, and yeah, let me know are you interested. I think I'm still gonna do it anyway, but your encouragement will kind of give me the kick at the butt that I need to really get going on this whole passion project of mine of, do you want to see a reading vlog with this kind of a series? I've been seeing that a lot on BookTube, which was really intriguing. I really enjoy watching those, which is reading series I'm in the middle of, or continuing series I'm in the middle of kind of vlogs. So I'm really interested in doing that. So your encouragement will definitely give me the kick in the butt that I need to get that done. So please give me all your encouragement down below. Well, as always, all my links will be down below in the description box, my Instagram and Goodreads. And if you want an immediate satisfaction, I encourage you to follow me on my Instagram stories. That's where I update the most frequent on my reading updates, as well as my Goodreads, as well to rate and review writings there. But yeah, as well, you can always catch my wrap-ups if you are interested in what I thought of these. As well as hopefully those vlogs. I need to get it together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.